Hello once again everyone, this is Phantom from 9 to 5 Gaming, and today marks the release of patch 1.7.2 for Fortnite's Battle Royale game mode. Since this isn't a giant patch, I'm also going to do an overview for the State of Development version 2 that Epic released just a few days ago. As always, I'm only covering the major points of each of these releases. If you would like the full patch notes, please see the links in the description. For those of you who are new to the State of Development post from Epic, it's kind of like a general overview of current issues they're aware of, as well as new items they want to implement into the game. Think of it like a roadmap of what's to come in the game. Epic touched on a lot of key areas regarding gameplay changes, starting out with the implementation of voice chat, the ongoing shooting and balance tweaks, rebalancing the loot density around the map, improving how spectator mode is handled, improving inventory management, and a few quality of life changes. The console version of the game is also receiving slight tweaks. They are adding alternative configurations to the controller layout, a revamp of the entire button menu, input latency improvements, and aim assist improvements. The user interface is getting overhauled in the near future. A much needed rework of the sending and receiving of invitations in the game, message of the day system improvements, and some really cool quality of life features for content creators, such as hiding HUD elements. Now on to progression, an update everyone's been waiting to hear about. They confirmed that leaderboards are coming and additional stat categories will be following close behind. There will also be a general progression system added, as well as a much needed character customization menu, along with cosmetics. Epic also keyed us in on a few engine changes. They are going to continue to work on the anti-cheat system. The console crowd is not left out either. They're trying to improve performance, stability, and memory usage for the consoles. They are also still focused on server performance and hitch optimization, as well as improving the performance on lower-end PCs. A couple of general online items that Epic announced is spinning up more data centers to reduce the average ping times, as well as opening a public test realm for people to test out new patches on. That wraps up the State of Development version 2 that Epic released. Now we move on to the patch notes. With patch 1.7.2 brings some much requested changes to the game. I will start out with the general gameplay changes they are implementing today. You can now switch between teammates when spectating. This is not only more enjoyable for the viewer, but you can also help out multiple teammates with communication now. They also fixed a really strange bug that made players instantaneously appear from behind objects. And rounding out the gameplay changes, they fixed an issue that caused the crosshair hit markers to sometimes not show up. The only tweaks regarding weapons this patch are in regards to ammo. Medium ammo stacks are increased from 10 bullets to 20, and rocket ammo spawn is decreased by 25%. Epic is trying to balance out some of the early and late game with both of these changes. Early game was a real struggle, especially in squads trying to cobble together AR ammo. In late games, sometimes you have dozens of rockets for your grenade launcher and your rocket launchers. So hopefully these changes kind of even out the early and late games. Epic actually released a few control updates to the game as well with the patch. There is now separate sensitivity sliders for the targeting multiplier as well as the scoped multiplier. They completely remove mouse smoothing, and now players can tilt the camera higher or lower than before. There were a couple of performance improvements as well. They reduced the time it takes to load into the map from the matchmaking lobby, and there were some general improvements to the loading times as well as the frame rates. There was also a change to the audio that might slip by as not being that big of a deal. Now the sounds that come from building structures can be heard from further away, so it's going to be a little harder to sneak up on people and build ramps into their bases, for example. That wraps up all the major changes for this patch, and hopefully everyone found it informative. Visit the link in the description for the entire patch notes released by Epic. If you enjoyed the video, I'd greatly appreciate any likes, shares, or subscriptions I can get. If you didn't enjoy it, then no problem. I'm doing this all for fun and for everyone in the community.